Hello, everyone. Jose J. Garcia, real estate investor, coach, and mentor here on another podcast. More motivation for you. So, my guest for today, very special guest. You'll hear why here in a minute, but she is a business owner. She is a business strategist, real estate investor, marketing consultant and coach, and serial entrepreneur. Tammy Smith, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Jay. How are you?
Feels like Monday every day, but it's a beautiful thing. So great to have you on here. So Tammy, we recently connected through some sources and we recently met in person. You kind of invited me to this real estate thing y'all had going on. So it definitely was awesome to meet on there. If anybody were to ask me to describe you in one word, I would say driven. Driven. I think that's good. A good word for you. But for those that don't know you, tell us about you.
So I have been a serial entrepreneur for way more years than I would like to admit. Probably had my first business by the age of 19 and have done everything from owned a retail clothing store to a travel agency to a women's pro football team, and then just everything that you can imagine. So I ended up in the credit world and helping people fix their credit and turning people that were told no, they couldn't buy a house into homeowners. And it hit me that I needed to start real estate investing. So my everything has kind of changed. And I spend more time now showing other people how they should have a side hustle and be an entrepreneur, and what routes to go based on what motivates them. So
Absolutely, for sure. 19 and already a business owner. I tell you what, I was thinking about many things at 19. It wasn't about business. So awesome for that. But are you naturally an entrepreneur?
I think so. My mom actually doesn't, she has said to me, she has no idea where I get it from. So it just came natural to me, but no one ever said I couldn't. So I just did it. I decided my first business was the clothing store, and it was, I drove by for rent sign. Okay. Open for business 3 days later. So
Wow.
yeah.
Initiative. I like it. Okay. Driven. See what I tell you.
That's
Okay.
where the driven comes from.
Absolutely. So one thing we were talking off air is time management. No matter how you put it, it seems like there's not enough time in a day. And we can plan, we have goals, visions, etc. But it's just one of those. I think it's a challenging thing for entrepreneurs. But you wearing so many hats and being successful with so many things, you know a thing or two about time manage. How do you time manage?
I actually, to be honest with you, I do struggle with time management because I'd like to take so many things on. But someone extremely successful told me one time that every decision that you make it based on, does that take me towards my end goal? And if the answer is no, let it go. So I try to spend as much time that I can through things that I know are going to help me reach my end goal and not just today's goal. So when there's multiple meetings I'm supposed to be in or multiple invites to something, I try to decide which one of those is most valuable for where
Oh,
I'm
thank
headed
you.
in the long term.
No, that's very good though. I'm going to make a note on that. So no, definitely. And I think, as our coach, which, who now JT Fox would say is, too many times I think we spend too much time doing those little bitty tasks that are meaningless, really. You can easily have somebody hourly or whoever it may be doing for you and keep you focused where you are. That's a struggle, no doubt for me. But no, that's good the way you put it. So, well, was that a mentor coach with that advice?
I would have quoted who told me that or where I learned that if I would remember where that came from. And I don't remember where that came from. I get a lot of fantastic information from JT Fox, let me tell you. And on top of my busy schedule, when I started really going, I'm going to make a change now. And that was, right before you and I met, I really just turned on another switch and said, that's it. I'm going faster. I upped the game. And then all of a sudden, now I have all these opportunities to coach and mentor with the next level. So I added a lot of things onto my schedule now, even since you and I have met. And I'm having to release other things that are just not as valuable and not getting me where I
Yes.
need to go. So
That's good.
you have to be able to tell yourself it's okay to release the things that don't give you your end result.
I think I've been there a few times. Bite more than you can chew, maybe some people would say. I don't know. I like challenges, and I think sometimes I just don't know when not to, so definitely. So with so many businesses you have, so much success, what keeps you going?
You know, I that's a struggle for me. I'm not really sure what the push is, but I've had one of those lives that if something bad has happened to somebody, it has happened to me. I've gone through major losses. I've gone through um, losing losing family. And when I say losing family, I'm talking, not actually having family in my life while I was growing up, and then them coming back in at a later date. But pretty much I learned early on that the only person that I personally could depend on was me. And that's kind of what drives me. It does give me a little bit different edge on things, but I was digging into my why. And if you've ever gone through the exercise of finding your why, have you ever gone through an exercise like that?
I don't think
It
so. I've done the why, but I didn't know there was an exercise for it.
Oh, we're gonna have to do that maybe offline. I'll do that with you. It's very powerful, but the first time that someone put me through that, if your why doesn't make you cry, it may not truly be your why. You have to
Huh.
keep digging. So you dig 7 levels deep on your why. So if I ask you why you do something, your answer respond with another question of why and keep digging. And a lot of times you won't find it right away. So mine actually hit me going down the road one day and I had to pull over. It was one of those exercises I went through because it did. It completely, the tears came, you break down. But for me, I do a lot of things to help other people.
Mhm.
And it's because my why is to help other people because no one was ever there for me, is to be there for others because no one was there for me. So the more I can do, the more lives I can help, and the more people I can help and be there for. So the, then there comes that balance though of how do you help people achieve what they want so that I'm achieving my why is to grab people that really do want to make a difference in their
Mhm.
lives, really do want to change, um, and move forward.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I know you seem very caring. So giving back and helping out, yeah, that's always a great thing. So getting into real estate, you had a clothing store you opened in 3 days. I'm sure it was successful. And then when you did decide to go into real estate, what were some of the bigger or the most struggles you had getting into real estate?
Well, I actually was a kind of a problem solver from having the credit business, and anyone that couldn't buy a house, they had an issue, something going on that was keeping them from being able to buy.
Mm.
So it could be a successful business owner with a great credit score sometimes can't buy a home. Well, the difference in that could be that it could be that they're running all their business stuff through their personal credit. So I found resources to help people build business credit. Then uh, buying a house, if they didn't have income, they might have everything on cash, pay cash for it, and it wasn't reporting on their credit report. So we'd have to build a credit for them.
Ah,
So, but every instance was different. So what happened is I became a really good problem solver based on each individual and started pulling things together. And I worked in an investor office for 3 years. So I took every one of his declined clients and turned them into home buyers that would go through my program. And I was not making much money on him, but I was making him like $30,000 per flip. And he was putting one of my clients in a flip every 2 weeks. And I'm
wow.
like, I have got to learn how to do this, but I didn't really know where to go or what to start. And it wasn't until a client came to me and said, I want to get into real estate until I started searching out how to learn to invest in real estate. So that's how I started. I found a great education program and implemented it into my life, made massive changes, um, and it's what's propelled me to where I am now. I learned even the financial things that we're taught are so different because we don't know what we don't know. And if you're open to looking at things differently, implementing even tax strategies into my life that I've been a business owner for many years, tax strategies I didn't know, even as a business owner, because I was trusting professionals around me that they were doing the right thing, but they didn't know what they didn't know. So it made me go, I'm just going to go out and find great resources and connect the dots and pull things together. And I started learning to invest about 4 years ago, is when I really started digging in and taking classes and learning what to do. And then the two things that you never want to happen are, one, I got real sick and got to a point that I couldn't work. And then while I was sick, I went through a divorce. So I pretty much lost everything about 3 years ago and had to start over. But the one thing that I didn't lose was the knowledge I had gained.
Hmm.
And I can tell you that nothing has built faster in any business that I've ever done than in real estate. And I'm glad that I had started learning early on, because now I'm able to use that to propel forward very quickly.
Absolutely. Couple things you dropped on there that I'm gonna repeat on, but absolutely. So, and invest in yourself. That's the best investment you ever make in yourself, and that's what Tammy just said. Because I mean, even in any investment, there's no secure investment to a certain degree. I mean, everything is a risk. But the one thing people or nobody can take from you is investing in yourself, your education that you can continue to use forever and ever as long as you use it. Of course, that's there for you. But what were or what is some of the things that you learned about yourself during these hard times?
I I am one of those people that I need good people around me
Mhm.
that are willing to push me. And sometimes you have to find someone who is willing to push you harder. So I've always been, and especially since I owned a football team and played on a women's pro football team. So even in
Wow.
sports, you have coaches that coach you,
Sure.
because when you start learning something, you need a coach in your life to get you to a certain level. You might outgrow a coach to where now you're at that level, and then you have to seek out someone even higher. But get to people who have knowledge that you don't have, start learning from them, start implementing from them, and then always be seeking more information. And I have found that I am a massive seeker of information and looking for the best information out there, and to surround myself with amazing people.
But
So
you have to be coachable. I
you
was having
do
another
have to be
podcast
coachable.
earlier with another investor actually overseas out of Germany. And that's one thing that he was saying is, regardless of what action you take or what you go after or who you even partner with, if you will, if you're not coachable, you're never going to get ahead. And it caught my attention because it's very true. And, I have certain people around me who I try to implement things and they just fight you. And they fight you. It's not going to get you ahead to fight me. I mean, it's plenty fine if you don't agree. We can agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, we're back to square one. So be coachable. That's very good. Absolutely. If you had to start over again as an entrepreneur, what would you do different?
Learn to write a business plan early on, and write the business plan
I need that.
before you start the business.
Yeah.
um, and that would have been as simple as actually seeking good information and seeking someone that knew how to do that. And I started so early on, I really didn't know um, where to start or what to do. I just didn't I didn't let something stop me because I knew it. So, or I wanted it. So if you have a desire for something, don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Go
Yes.
after it. But if I had
Yes.
a difference, I would probably put a business plan together before I did something. Um, Yeah, that's probably it.
That's my next question is, what is the one thing that you think most people starting a new business fail at? Do you think it's putting a business plan?
I think each business is different depending on the business plans. If you're looking, because there's so many different types of businesses out there, and I think a lot of people listen to things on YouTube and take it as, this is the what it should be. And if this is on YouTube, that was not a knock at you. Please don't take that as, oh, actually, that was not a nice thing to say there. But you see so much stuff that's out there.
Mm.
And if you if you're listening to things that are out there and not seeking to find out if that's true, not asking questions of multiple people in order to get the answer and make sure the
Yes.
answer is correct, that's where I see a lot of people kind of fail, no matter what they do, is just taking advice from people who don't know the answer
Yes.
and implementing it into their lives. So even in business, if you find a great opportunity, a lot of times it's your friends and family that are your broke friends and family that talk you out of doing things that could help you in
They're
your
the
life
worst.
because you're taking advice from the wrong people.
Mhm.
So you can see that in businesses as well. If you don't have, and went through this in other businesses, if you don't have the right CPA and attorney to make sure that your documents are correct, you know, but don't just trust. Ask multiple to make sure you know what you're doing, and make sure that they know what they're doing.
That's a very, very good point you made there. I just made a couple reels the other day about that is how should you hire and that's my next question, a coach or mentor. And as my coach would say, is avoid the fugazis. And it's, broke people have the most advice for anybody. It seems like they are the most talkative when it comes to that. To me, it's always like, I want to see what they're doing in life to show for what they're talking about. It doesn't equal. So something is off. But that was very well put. So, and hinting into that, what are your thoughts about a coach, about a mentor?
I have a lot of coaches and mentors in my life.
Mhm.
And I think I look at it this way because I have people ask me a lot of times to coach them. And the benefits of me having a coach is that as you're going up in levels and you're getting coaches, you may not be able to afford or pay for the high dollar coaches, because sometimes to get to that next level, it can cost quite a bit, but it's really not a cost because of the benefit that you get
Mm.
out of it. So I coach with JT Fox. I'm after the people that he coaches with as well. I may not be there yet, but I plan to move up. I've learned a lot of information from him. Um, so I think
Absolutely.
having a coach is necessary. Yeah.
Yeah. That was my thing. If I had to do entrepreneurship again, business, whatever it may be, is get a coach because I did that starting out. For the first year, I did everything, and I was an introvert. Still am to a certain degree, but it was always I got it. I don't want to talk to anybody. I figured it out, and I didn't hire a coach or mentor, and I spun wheels a lot, and I had some success, but nothing as to what I would have had should I just guide by somebody. Somebody's been there, done that kind of thing. So, what do you think the key to success is?
Being driven. I think being driven and not letting go, knowing when to let go, so that you're not spinning your wheels, because you can grab onto an idea, but if that idea doesn't make money, you have to let it go. So you have to be successful, you have to be able to pay for things, but success is going to be defined differently from different people. Some people's success is just having time freedom, and that time freedom could come at a lower dollar amount. So I think success is defined by the individual, as to what they're after. For me, I have specific things that I want and goals that I want to run after, or I'm not going to feel successful.
Mhm. I tend to love anything that makes me money. I have found a
Yeah.
way to do so. And as you said, the comment there that you made, it got that question that I think a lot of people wait till, well, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I don't know if this is for me. I'm thinking, you don't know until you get into it. But I mean, if you start making money, I'm sure you're gonna start liking it and loving it pretty soon. So, to add to, people don't need to wait until they find something they love. Do something, to me, it was always real estate is a access to your hobby, if you will. You don't have to love it, but it's gonna make you the funds, the means to go on to your hobby. Then you can enjoy that. So the wonderful thing about knowing Tammy is that she not only knows what mobile homes are, but she invests in them. That was awesome. And more people are starting to connect with this, and people doing wonderful things with the mobile home niche. Tammy, a lot of people still don't know mobile homes, still very alien to them. What are your thoughts about mobile homes?
I wouldn't have gone that direction originally, but now the more time that I've spent with them and learning more about them, it is absolutely the direction that I'm headed. So we were talking earlier that I jumped on a road trip to go put eyes on a property, but while I was down here, I was looking at mobile homes too. So we have to have a conversation about those. But what I love about them is they are affordable. It goes into the safe, affordable housing.
Mhm.
Uh, we look for parks, and then now I'm actually looking for mobile homes in parks. So I have some partners that they don't want to own the homes, they just want to own the parks. But now I have people like you who teach people how to buy the homes in the park. So now I have that niche as well, where I can connect the park owners with homes that they don't want, and they'd prefer that homes be owned by the tenants or an investor. So I am loving it because they are great for cash flow. They are.
Low risk, low entry, high reward. You can't go wrong with something like this. So you think more people should get into mobile homes?
I, So yes, I'm going to say more people should get into mobile homes. They should. So you look at that two ways. If more people get into mobile homes, there's less out there for us. But yes, we want to share the wealth. More people should get into mobile homes.
I don't
There
know.
are, they're everywhere. They're
Every
everywhere.
state has them. Every state has them. Canada has them. And apparently around the world they also have them. I do a lot of international calls like this, and I talk to a lot of people, and it catches my attention, my eye. That wow. But 7 years ago when I started, nobody was doing mobile homes. There were people doing it. It was just very low key, but it wasn't nothing like now. And of course, I contribute to by coaching people. But so sometimes in the past, I've thought, should I really keep teaching, coaching people? This is going to take from me. I don't know. There is so much inventory that I can get right now that it is like, I don't think so. I think there's enough to go around. So
There it
for
is.
now, that's what I think. But yeah, for sure. So a couple more questions here for you, Tammy. What is your end goal with mobile home parks or mobile homes?
With the mobile homes right now, I'm looking for a couple of additional parks to add to my portfolio. So I'm always looking for the parks. I have a preference. I prefer tenant-owned homes. But I'm actually looking for homes that I can put into a park right now as well. So I've found a couple of parks that need an injection of homes in them. So I'm looking to pull some homes in there, and then I would probably do seller financing out on those homes. So I'm kind of the bank on those homes to help someone get into a
Yeah.
house that now they fix it after the fact. If something goes wrong, you're not having to worry about it.
Mhm.
They're going to be responsible for it. But it helps people get into something that they couldn't get into before. And I think coming from that world of helping people go from no to homeowner, the mobile home is a great opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Affordable housing, giving back, no matter how you put it. So, well, last question for you. Definitely awesome to have you on here. So, last encouraging words for those in business struggling to get into business.
Find something that you're passionate about, and then find a coach to get
Yes.
you on the right path, and get the motivation going. And then, even if it's not your main passion, but you have a great coach pushing you in the right direction, then get profitable so that you have enough money to do what you're passionate about.
There you go. And there you have it. Good motivation from Tammy. I knew this call would be good, and it ain't enough time, but we're mindful about time. So I'm sure we can do it again later on. So, well, Tammy, it has been awesome having you on here. Don't go nowhere. I got a couple of questions for you off air. But thank you. Thank you everybody for watching.
Thank you for having me.